The Middle Ages, a time when life was held together by swords, where men were not born free but useful, and among them was he, the blacksmith's son, a spearman in service of a feudal lord, just one more among dozens, just one more across centuries of oblivion. His day did not begin with birdsong, but with the creak of leather as he dressed, the cold metal of chainmail against his weathered skin, the damp boots, the spear, his only certainty. He slept on straw, surrounded by men like him, rough, silent, empty. Each morning was the same. The captain gave orders: guard the roads, escort the tax collectors, punish those who dared not pay. The routine hardened him on the outside, but inside, it shattered him. No one in the castle knew his name. To them, he was simply the spearman, the one who obeys, the one who does not ask, the one who dies if needed. And yet, that day was not like the others. At midday, the alarm came, a distant horn, a cloud of dust, and the sound all feared: the enemy cavalry charge. From the north, riders of a rival lord descended. Hundreds of horses, shining armor, lances even longer. They were death incarnate, and they were coming straight for them. Eldric formed up with his comrades in the open field. They aligned into a wall of spears, shields firm, knees trembling. The captain shouted for them to hold, that the nobles watched from the battlements. But it wasn't honor that held them up. It was instinct. And then it happened. The hooves thundered like storms. The ground shook. The sun vanished behind the dust. And the first horse struck the line. Eldric felt the crunch of someone else's bones. Blood splattered his face. A comrade's scream, severed by a sword, etched itself into his memory forever. To retreat was to die. To advance, the same. All that remained was to resist. One spear pierced a steed. Another struck his shield. Voices merged into a shapeless chaos. At last, when the charge faltered, when the riders pulled back to regroup, Eldric was still standing, surrounded by bodies. Some friends, some enemies, all silent. He returned to the castle that night, but something in him had stayed behind. He did not cry. He did not speak. He simply sat in the corner of the barracks and sharpened his spear, not in preparation, but out of habit, to avoid thinking. Since then, the sound of distant hooves made him tremble. The glint of armor twisted his stomach. He slept little, and when he did, he relived the charge, again and again. A spearman's traumas do not heal, they pile up. They called him a warrior, but he knew he was no hero, just another tool. He ate just enough, spoke only when necessary, and hoped each day that no alarm would sound. In the castle, no one asked how he was. The nobles toasted their victory. The bards sang of battles he never saw. And he remained silent, because that was his real battle, to survive the next day, to live knowing he felt nothing, not hatred, not glory, not fear, only emptiness. Tomorrow, perhaps, he'd march to another field, perhaps face another charge, or perhaps not return. But until then, Eldric would go on, with his spear, his silence, and his shadow, because that's how the men of the spear lived, and thus in the chronicles of oblivion, they continued to exist.
Su silencio y su sombra, porque así vivían los hombres de lanza, y así, en las crónicas del olvido, seguían existiendo.
Por favor, considera darle like y suscribirte a este canal si has disfrutado este contenido. Así podré continuar realizando más videos para ti. Hasta la próxima.